in the peach capital of the state, baby. Didn't have no Wi-Fi there a second, boys and girls. Didn't have no Wi-Fi. Didn't have no Wi-Fi. There's a storm. There's a storm. What's up, Ray? I guess you're here. I don't know. Said you're here. Ain't gonna be on here long. It's cold, wet, raining. What's everybody doing today? I wanted to hop on here and check in with everybody, see what everybody's doing. See everybody's working on. I want to try this live feature where you can hop on here and we can go live together. So in the description, there's a link. If you click that link, you can be live together. So I don't know. Come on, you'll go out. Come on. What's wrong with you? I'm at work, but I tuned in. Mexican Lee's Therapy Garage. What's up? That's a Mexican Lee's Therapy Garage. So what kind of garage is? I appreciate you joining in. It's 7 o'clock here on the East Coast. It's cold. I think it's in its 30s. Uh, um, cold and raining. Supposed to be. They call them for snow, sleet and rain. Man, I am so done. Who's done? Who's done with this cold weather? Raise your hand. I know who this guy is. Um, I know I am. So, got the motorcycle parts painted today. If I got two. So I got a live, or excuse me, I got a video and a reel. The video is like 3 minutes long, and the reel is like 2:44. So I'd appreciate if you go check those out. Let me know what you think. I've been posting some some old some old video footage. I've posted it before, but I'm reposting it using different music. I've been working on some music to put in the background to see how that works out. Um but anyways, so like I said, I jumped on here, see if anybody want to jump in with me. Like I say, in the link in the description, um, the there's a link to go live. So, Ray, you still out here? Whew, I bet I can't. This weather um, causes seasonal depression, like nobody's business. Got the shop cleaned up. Got the rack right here. Let me show you. Um, right here, got the rack. Got some hooks. Well, hold on a second. Let me turn this around. All right, y'all hang tight. I gotta let the cat out. You want to go out? It's raining. It's raining. It's cold. All right. Hey, come on. Come on. All right, so I had some few hooks. I had some few hooks that I found. Um, so here's like I said, we built this the other night. If you was on the live, we built this together. Here's the hooks. Like I said, I got a few hooks and started hanging the tools on there. We got another hook right there. I got some more stuff I want to hang, but got that there. And like I said, I hadn't decided what I'm gonna do on this side, but that's what I got going on there. Got those two fenders ready. That one's ready. That one's ready. Ready for final prime. Gonna get those final prime. There's the fender that we fixed live. We did part 1 and part 2. Here is the metal anvil that we made together. Or actually it's the pipe anvil. So I got this idea. So this thing, so I got thinking about it, and this thing pings, right? So if you bend a piece of metal on it and you start hitting on it, it pings. So this is what I'm gonna do. So I text my buddy that's got the CNC plasma table, and I told him to cut me out 6 disc, uh 6 circle disc, just a little bit smaller than this pipe, so I can weld it to the ends, right? So gonna cap the ends, weld it up, cap this end, weld it up, cap this end, weld it up, right? Then we're gonna stand it up on its side, and we're going to fill these pipes up with sand. And then once we fill them up with sand, I am going to put a cap on this side, weld this solid, weld this solid, weld this solid. But what I also going to get him to do is pop a hole in the middle of 3 of the disc, you know, and so I can fill it up with sand pretty good with no cap, cap it, weld it, still have a hole in it, then fill it up the rest of the way with sand, and then weld the hole up. And I'm going to fill these up with sand. I'm going to cap these ends here, and I'm going to fill up the tubes with sand. I'm going to fill the upright up with sand, and that's going to give it some, that is going to give it some pinging, so it will absorb, so there's no ding, 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 ding. So that's that. And like I said, I cleaned up. All right, here is the railroad. What's up? 95 shape. Nothing much. Just wanted to hop on here. Just see what everybody's doing. Didn't jump on here last night because it was I was gonna say Veterans Day. I didn't jump on here last night because it was Valentine's Day. Um, I got a bunch of this railroad iron, and I should have picked out a better piece, but it is what it is. So cut this. Well, I hate to hear that, and I appreciate you joining in on the channel, and I also appreciate you sharing your story. So this piece of railroad iron, railroad rail, whatever you want to call it. Um, like I said, I got more of this, but I should have looked at it before I cut it, but I didn't know see how bad it was pitted. But that's okay. What I'm gonna do is I'll take and I'll keep grinding on this, and I'll get all these pits out to get it super slick, and then I'll keep polishing it. And then I was on live, and seeing you go live. Oh, I appreciate that. I'm going to drill 2 holes. I'm going to drill a hole here, drill a hole here, and drill a hole here, and then drill a hole there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on the table, and on the edge of the table, I'm going to drill a matching hole for those holes and put this where I can bolt it to the table. Hey, what is that, Elko Ant? Hey, I seen you on somebody else's live, so you done trickled over here too. I appreciate it. So this piece of railroad iron, then I can bolt it to the table, and then use it, and then unbolt it, and then move it wherever I need to, so I don't beat on the table. Like I say, here's the rack. Here's the rack we made the other day live, the roller rack that slides underneath the table, and I started hanging all my tools on it. We built this we built this live one night, and then we got some other stuff we got to do on that one. So I have the 68 C10 hood is ready. It's ready for epoxy. It's ready. It's all sanded, and then once it's all sanded, epoxied, and then sanded again, it'll be ready for paint. I think I'm going to go ahead and weld these solid, so there's no seam, so it's one continuous piece. But I'm going to make some. I'm going to make some more out of these before I do that. So whenever I do another 67 to 72 C10, I'll have some more templates on that. That's about it. I got a couple sensors I got to put in on the 68, and I'm gonna try to get that thing cranked up here in the next couple little bit. So that's about it. I got a lot of. I wonder where everybody's at. Hey, there's a like I said, there's a link in the description to go live. So that's an invite. So yeah. So what's up, 909? Yeah, Ant. That's right. That's where I seen you. I seen you somewhere else too. So there's a link in the description to join this live if you wanted to join it. Man, we got about 4 inches rain. Big fish, man. It has been raining nonstop, man. All day, man. It's rained. Y'all probably gonna get some snow for too long. I don't know. I only had 3 people show up on mine. Hey, hey, three is better than zero. Is what I look at it. Hey, three's better than zero. Hey, 95 for Guinea. Hey, I next week. Well, they're calling for snow this week. Well, yeah, that would be next week. Today's Saturday, so they're calling for snow like Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So it'd be let's see, Tuesday, the 19th, the 20th. So yeah, the 19th or the 20th. Man, I don't know what's wrong with my dog. That son gun be he'll just start howling for no reason. He'll just start just for the for no reason. That son gonna just start howling. I don't know what's wrong with him. That's why I went live and started snowing like a blizzard out of nowhere. Yeah, it's cold and rainy, man. That's why I was a little bit late on this live, is because I guess because I have a satellite. I put up a cell phone tower with a satellite on the top of it to get Wi-Fi, and it's not Starlink. It's something different. And if it gets really, 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 really bad, like cloud wise, the service gets shoddy. So, but yeah, the 68 C10. I got thinking about it last night. There's a couple more sensors. They came in. I'm gonna put those in. I'm gonna check the oil, make sure the oil's good. I know I got fuel pressure. I know everything else is good. Turn on the coded digitals, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna disable the ignition system so it won't crank. And I'm gonna spin the engine over until the oil pressure light goes out on the Dakota digitals. And once that happens, then I'm going to program. Well, I'll program the Terminex handheld, go through that, and set that up. And then once all that's done and everything checks, I'm gonna bump it over and I'm gonna activate everything and bump it over and see if she'll crank. Um, she's gonna be loud. So it's got straight headers on it now. I have the exhaust, and go once I get it cranked and it runs. It's probably going to run like crap until it learns all the systems and stuff on it. Then what I'll do is I'll go live and then I'll bump it over and go and do that because there's going to be a lot of stuff to deal with, and I don't want to have to. I got to be focused on. It's like today when I was painting in the booth. I was going to go live, but I was so worried because it was Harley Paint, and Harley Paint is actually. I saw you on Tulu's live. You dropped in some great knowledge, so I had this. I appreciate it. Yeah, and that you know what? That was actually the first time that I ever joined in on somebody's live. Actually, um, I seen other. I seen. Matter of fact, that's how I seen him in the very beginning. 87 SS Boy. He went live, and Tulu was with him, and he was talking about the wiring harness, the pin, and I was actually waiting on some stuff, and I started commenting on it, and I said, "Why is it a split screen?" Because I never seen that before, and then they explained it to me, and then I seen the other night Tulu. He had like 7 or 8 people on his live, and they were talking about the ball game and some other stuff. But I just listened, and then the other day when he jumped in yesterday, and had the link, I clicked on it and went through it, and I was like, hey, I said, heck, I'm gonna try it and see if it worked, and it worked. It was great. Um, so then he posted a video on showing how to do that. So I'd already scheduled this one to go live tonight to see if anybody would join. So, um, but yeah, if I get the see moaning again, I don't know what's wrong with you. Uh, I'm probably going to have a '65 Mustang come later this week. Well, it depends on the weather. I got a '65 Mustang that I got to put some bumpers and stuff on that I color match the bumpers. So I got to talk to him this week. I know Monday's a holiday, and then I'll get him to bring that here. It's a '65 Mustang. It's green and black. It's a really nice car. This guy has never had an old car, and he found this car, and I rode with him to Florence, South Carolina, and looked at the car and told him what I thought about the car, and then I just went and sat in the truck. And then I said, if you buy it, you buy it. If you don't, you don't. This is my input. This is what I would give for it comfortably. You do your thing. And went and sat in the truck, and they negotiated. And he come back and he said, "Man, we loading it up." And I said, "Okay, buddy." So we brought it back. I brought it back for him, and he loves it. So it's a '65 Mustang. It's a 302 car, 4-speed car, 4-speed manual. So I might have it here this week, if he can bring it, so I can put the bumpers on. So I'll move some stuff around, bring it in, and do that. Let's see what else. Need to finish up the exhaust on the '86 Silverado pickup truck. I got the Cadillac converter, and the muffler. I need to put all that in and then schedule it to take. I need to do all that and then schedule it to go to the exhaust shop. So they're going to let me use their equipment to bend the pieces to go over the rear end and out the back. Because they have the pipe in stock, which they have 4 foot and 8 foot length. So That's pretty cool on that. They don't let me do that. Then I need to get the 63 Impala in here and do some stuff on it. And that's about it for now. But I got those motorcycle parts painted today. So if you haven't went and watched those videos, I'd greatly appreciate if you go watch them. Like I said, that was Harley Davidson paint, which is actually PPG paint, but it was actually Harley paint that you have to get from Harley, because all Harley Davidson has PPG paint on it, which is actually single stage, and it mixes 8-part paint, 1-part hardener, 2-part reducer. And it is thick as a thick, it's thick, thick, thick. I sprayed it with a 1.5 Luma gun. It's 1.5 OP. What's up, Chris? And it was a pearl. And when I started spraying, um, it wasn't laying out as slick as I wanted it to lay out. But I didn't change nothing once I started, like my pressure, because it is a single stage, but it was a pearl single stage. So I didn't want to change my gun settings too much, because I didn't want to cause problems with uh, pearl saturation, splotching, anything like that. So I just let it be where it's going to be, and I let it eat. Um, and then went from there. But it turned out really nice. Turned out really nice. It's like a desert, like a khaki sand pearl color. So now you can clear single stage. Y'all hold tight for 1 second. All right, I'm back. So you can clear Harley Davidson paint because it is single stage, but here's the problem. The catalyst that you use for the single stage is not the same catalyst that you use in the clear coat. So, with that being said, I know some guys that have done it and they've got away with it, and I know some guys that's done it and they not got away with it. My luck is, if I'd done it, I wouldn't get away with it and it caused me problems. But Harley says that you are supposed to wait 15 days, then sand, then clear. So then you have a chemical and a mechanical adhesion. I know some guys that after the last coat of they put, so this thing had 3 coats of base with hardener or a catalyst, and then it had 3 coats of top coat, which was the pearl coat with hardener. So you got 3 coats of base with hardener, and then you got 3 coats of base with hardener. So that's a single stage. All right. So, and a lot of guys will go right on top of that and put 3 coats of clear and be done with it. That's okay. I mean, I know some guys do it and get away with it. Uh, if it was, if it was, it is PPG, but if I was spraying PPG clear coat, let's say I was spraying their essential line, right? I could use, I would spray clear over top of it after I got done, because the clear uses the same hardener. So you're not mixing chemicals. So what's up, Ray? You're not mixing chemicals, right? So that's where a lot of people get in problems, where they're mixing single stage chemicals with the clear coat, and it causes problems because sometimes chemicals don't like each other and they crawl off. So, but I'm not clear coating it. Um, they said that, they didn't want it clear coated. That's fine. They're supposed to come like Tuesday or Wednesday this week to come get it. I baked it for about an hour. Well, I say I baked it. I left the temperature about 80 degrees in the booth an hour after I painted it. And then I turned the heat off, left the fan on, circulating heat around. And I'll leave the fan on, the little box fan, I'll leave it on all night. And then tomorrow I will go down there tomorrow about mid morning. I'll turn the heat back on. I'll let the heat come on for let it run for a couple hours at 80 degrees with a little fan on. That will give it a last part of clear or cooking or curing, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it baking, cure out, finish drying, whatever. Everybody, tomato, everybody knows the same thing. And then I'll turn the heat off. I'll let it cool down on its own. I'll leave a little box fan on. And then the day that he comes and gets it, he's about 2 hours away. So what I'll do when he says, "Hey, look, I'm on my way," I'll go turn the heat back on, let the heat run up by 85 degrees, and then I will turn it off about 45 minutes after that, let it cool down. So when he gets here, there shouldn't be no issues. Yeah, and Faye, JG, do you do you have a floor shifter tilt steering wheel for an A body for sale? I don't know. He might. I don't know. He's got all kinds of stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I can reach out to him. Um, I can reach out to. Oh, excuse me. I can reach out to him and ask him, and if he does, I'll text him. Not tonight, but I'll text him and ask him if he has that, and if he does, um, I'll get back on here and then figure out how a way to get you his information. Because he does ship stuff. He's got an eBay store. That hurt my head. So, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I could do, like share on here, like tech support and stuff like that, and how to do this and how to do that. But I honestly, I don't know what people would want to see. I mean, man, I got all kind. I got um. There's, I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, I don't know it all by no means, but I've been exposed to a lot. So um, I don't know. I don't know how to put it. I mean, I tried to do some textbook stuff out of the textbook, like do chapters every week on the textbook, like the textbook side of it. And it just didn't get no traction because, that shit's boring. People would rather see hands on or actually do it or something. Most people, most people don't even read the instructions when they buy something. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, I agree with that. But if I break out that textbook over there and I start teaching out of the textbook, there's a lot of people that's going to go, you know what, this ain't exciting. I'm going somewhere else. And they swap and they go somewhere else. And that's what hey, hey, JG, I know someone that's, okay. What kind of old car? When was it painted? I mean, it could be a bunch of different things, but how old of a car are we talking about? I kind of got an idea what it is, what's wrong with it, but I got to get a little bit more information. So paint job, old car now, it's cracked up. It looks like what happened. It's got cracks all over it. Okay, how long ago was it painted? And does the cracks look like spider cracks, like spider fisher cracks? They're like everywhere, like Charlotte's Web, like they're just everywhere. Is that what it's got? I turn the heat off. I turn these mini splits off, and I don't know what the temperature of it is in here, but it's chilly. It's chilly. It's Chilly Willy. My name is Chilly Willy. I'm frozen through and through. My tail is cold. My nose is frozen. Ha he a chew. Oh, I'll tell you something else. So also, uh, once I knock these little small projects out, like this Mustang with the bumpers, and then figure out what's going on with the '63 Impala. Got these yesterday, and it was about a year old paint job. Yeah, a year old when? Like last year or 25 years ago? We're gonna start building the chassis for that '61 Ford box truck, and we're gonna TIG a lot of stuff we can TIG, um, and go from there. Excuse me. Last year. Ooh. Well, so my question is, here's my question. What kind of paint is it that they put over it? What kind of paint did they put on it? Did they put single stays back over the original paint? And the original paint was if the car why is the videos why is it so small? What do you mean the video is so small? So so I take it it's a 67, 68, 69, 70 Chevelle, 71 Chevelle. I take it that's what it is, right? So when it was repainted a year ago, did they paint over the old paint that was on the car? Okay. Did they paint? It's pouring down rain. It's pouring. Did they paint over the old paint that was already on the car? Did the car have original paint on it from 1969, 60, 69, 70? If it did, it had lacquer paint on it. So if they sprayed new, okay. So let's just go from here. Let's say they never stripped the old paint off of it, right? And they painted right over top of the old paint. And let's say the old paint already had spider cracks in it, which it probably did if it had the original lacquer paint on it. The lacquer paint on it was probably most likely cracked, spider cracked. So what they probably did was just sanded it down and just repainted over that. Therefore, you got cracks in the foundation. Cracks in the foundation, the higher line cracks are going to eventually seep up to the top. Okay. Now, if they sprayed urethane paint or polyester paint right over top of lacquer thinner without putting some type of barrier in between those two, like a 2K epoxy or a 2K epoxy to seal the lacquer paint, and then paint over top of the 2K epoxy primer to stop it so the two chemicals wouldn't react to each other, then therefore it's spider cracking. If they painted right over top of the lacquer paint without, then that is an adhesion problem. And more than likely, that sounds like they sprayed over top of whatever was there, and it's poor prep, and it was cracks already in the other paint, and they probably put urethane over top of lacquer, and urethane over lacquer don't like each other, and it will crawl, slap off on the floor. So, so with lacquer paint stuff, um, it needs to be stripped down to bare bones and start all over. And a lot of people that come here, I'll tell them I'm not spraying. I got to strip it down to bare bones and start over. And a lot of them says, no, I don't want to do that. Just fix the best you can, spray over it. I'm not interested. Not interested. I rather spray. I rather paint a wheelbarrow. I'm not interested because well, the money don't the money don't mean nothing. I mean, $8,000 in what? $8,000 in the total paint job, like from start to finish, or $8,000 in material, or $8,000 in labor. That number that number that number don't that number don't mean nothing unless you break it down. So I mean, I can have $8,000 just in materials. Not even depending on what materials I buy. I mean, I can buy, global and have $8,000 just in material and ain't even touched the car. So, well, actually, that's not entirely too bad. So you think about it. You think about it. $8,000 to paint a car, start to finish. That's labor, material, and consumables all together. That's really not that much. So with that being said, I don't know the shop that done it. I don't know the people that done it. I don't know anything. But pretty much you got what you paid for. Because for $8,000, I know that it wasn't taken all the way down to bare bones. It was sprayed over whatever was existing that was there. So that tells me that it might have been a scuff and shoot. I'm just speculating here. It could have been a scuff and shoot. They just went over and hit it with a piece of Scotch Brite, or they buzzed it down with a DA to give it some tooth, and then they went ahead and just sprayed it. And if you had two guys working on it, and you paid both guys, if you had two guys working on the car, and you paid both guys $20 an hour, and they worked, you know, 40 hours a week on it, which I'm just throwing numbers out there. So if you paid one guy $20 an hour and he worked on it all week, that's 40 hours. 20 times 4, 20 times 40 is 800. So you got $800 in labor in one guy, and you got $800 in labor in another guy. So let's just round it up to $1,000 each. All right. So that's $2,000 in labor. All right. You take $2,000 from 8, that's $6,000. Now, let's say they got, you know, then you got your material, and then you got your tape, and then you got that. So that's really not that much. It's really not that much. What's up, RJ? Um, it's really not that much. I mean, you think about it, you know, if a shop rates, let's just say a shop rates $50 an hour, and your budget is $5,000 to paint a vehicle, and that includes material. Well, you're going to spend at least $1,000 to $1,500 in material, and that is bare bones. That's like that's like the cheapest you can get. Like that's the clear that don't have but like a 5-year UV protection on it. Um, you're gonna spend like $1,500 in material. So you take 15 from 5, that leaves you down to 35. Now you got $3,500 to for labor to paint a vehicle. Um, there's no way that you're going to get every panel straight. There's no way you're going to get every panel all the dents fixed. You're not going to R&I. You're not going to remove all of everything. You're not going to take the headlights out, the bumpers off, the door handles, the rubber, the trim. You're not taking none of that off. You're going to take some of it off, but you're not taking it all off. And then you're just going to sand it, and you're not stripping it down to bare bones. And then that's what I call scuff and shoot. And then you just shoot it, and then you just send the bill, and then people are happy. And then when stuff starts happening, then they talk trash about the shop and go, "Well, I took that thing down. I took that car down to Ray's, and Ray painted it, and I paid him $5,000. And look at the shit that I got." Okay, but see, normal people are like, God, you paid 5 grand for that or $10,000 for that, and that's what you got. Well, I'd be mad as hell. Okay, well, be mad, but you don't know the whole story. You don't know the whole story. If you don't strip it down to bare bones, you ain't gonna. You can't guarantee it. You can't guarantee it. You can't. And then you got the problem with new parts, like new panels, like panels that are put together. Like I hate to even say this, the Automotive Direct parts, the Tri City parts, the Dynacore parts, LMC parts, all them parts, they're electro coated, and they're spot welded together. And in between the seams of the panels, they're going to rust in between, because even if you spray epoxy, you're only spraying epoxy on the edges. In between those two pieces of metal, like right here, let me show you on this hood. Remember the other day I was showing y'all on this hood? All right. See this? This right here. This is a brand new hood. brand new hood, brand spanking new. This is the E-coat from the factory, or from where they make these hoods. This thing is sprayed in E-coat, right? Everything is. That fender, this fender right here, that that is E-coat, right? That's E-coat, right? That is E-coat, right? Yes, it's 68 C10. This is a the brand new hood, brand new hood. Never been in the rain, never been in nothing. Just been in here in the shop. You can see where I took the bolts loose. You can see where I took these out. You can see the print, right? Look, rust. Look up in there. See that? Rust. It's a brand new hood. So I've had people, you know, say, "Hey, look, man, I got a brand new fender, or I got a brand new tailgate, or I got a brand new hood. I got this, I got that," and it's starting to rust. Like they'll see rust coming out of these little cracks, these little seams right here. It's like, "Hey, man, um, this thing's rusting, and this is brand new. Why is it doing that?" Well, I mean, that right there is the reason why it's doing it. There's no. It's raw metal. It's raw metal in between the two. So you are gonna have rust. See what I'm saying? So when people say, "Hey, my vehicle's rust free," you a damn lie. Ain't nothing rust free unless it lived in a bucket of oil its whole life. Ain't nothing rust free. It ain't. If it's raw metal, it ain't rust. Everything's not. So like that 68 GTO Judge that I got posted up in pictures and stuff like that. That guy bought that car new, and he said that um, he took that car and had it dipped. Right? He took it and had it chemically dipped, where they took the whole body of the car and stuck it in a vat to strip all the old lacquer paint off of it, and they pulled it up and it looked like a brand new penny, right? A brand new nickel. And then he had it epoxied, right? So he had it in his garage for whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then he was from New York, and then he shipped me his car down here. And then he come down here and he's like, "Man, this car's rust free, blah, blah, blah. Don't have no rust in it, blah, blah, blah. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do, whatever." Started digging into the front cow part down there, took it apart, and it's just rusted to death. In between the two panels, it's just rusted. It looks like in between. I got pictures of it up in a video. It looked like that right there in between the panels. It looked like that between the panels. I seen him pictures of it, and he goes, "What is that?" And I said, "That's your car." And he's like, "That ain't my car." And I was like, "Yeah, that's your car." He's like, "My car ain't got no effing rust in it." I'm like, "Well, you better come down here and check it out, because this is why I take pictures, a video of everything." He gets here and he looks at the car, and he's just sitting there and he's like, "How'd that rust get in there?" I was like, It's two pieces of metal together and there's nothing in between it." And he goes, "Well, I had this thing dipped and they said it would take all the rust out of the car." I said, "Okay, it probably did. But then they got to rinse that solution off, and those two panels are still together and you can get in between it. So it rust and then it rotted and he had to replace it." And he was mad. And I'm like, "I don't know why you mad at me. There's no car on the road that's rust free. I promise you. If it has a bare piece of metal and a bare piece of metal put together, there's rust in between it." Uh, what you think about POR 15? POR 15 is good stuff as long as you follow the instructions. What's up, Thule? What's up, Thule? As long as you follow the instructions on POR 15 or POR 15, whatever you want to call it, as long as you follow the instructions on it, you're fine. POR 15. The problem with PR 15, people think that they got to clean the piece of metal to get all the surface rust off of it, and then they put the PR 15 on it. Well, why'd you buy PR 15? Why didn't you do like build on a budget and buy some Rust-Oleum black enamel and use that instead? You just what you wasted your money buying a PR 15, because the PR 15 is that's what it's designed for, to go over rust, right? So if I was going to If I was say this was your frame or the backside of or inside your cowl or something like that, what I would do is I would take a Scotch Brite and I would knock the dust off of it, right? But I would not take a grinder or a sanding wheel to make it look like this. If I was going to make it look like this, I would use something. If I was going to strip this down to like this, I wouldn't put PR-15 on it. I'd put like Rust-Oleum enamel on it, and I would buy some synthetic hardener and put like 2 capfuls of synthetic hardener in it, and then I would either paint it on or I would buy me a cheap $15 paint a cheap $15 Harbor Freight paint gun, wash the paint gun out, and then I would put me some Rust-Oleum in a spray cup, and I would reduce it by 5% with some acetone, with some synthetic hardener, and I would spray it, and it would be slick as it could be with no brush strokes, and I'd be done with it. But if I was going to use PR-15, I would just knock the dust off of it, the surface, and then I would just paint it with PR-15. That's what PR-15 is designed for, to go over rust, not to go over clean metal. That that's the problem that people. What's up, Chevy Addiction? Right, take the rough rust, but leave. Yeah, exactly, Ant. Exactly. So that's when people you'll see them get online. Well, I used POR-15 and that stuff didn't work. That stuff was a piece of shit and wasted my money. It didn't even stick. Well, you didn't. I promise you, you probably didn't. I promise you didn't follow the instructions. And also, you can spray POR-15. You can spray it now. You got to make sure you're in a well ventilated area. You got to make sure you got you got a dust, you got to not, you got to make sure you got a respirator on, make sure you got some glasses on, put some gloves on, and go to Harbor Freight and buy one of those cheap 10, 12, 14, $15 paint guns. Pick you up some mixing cups and then get some either some acetone or get some gun cleaner and then take the gun apart. I like the fact that PR for his aerosol can was there. Yeah. So then you could take and mix up. You can put PR-15 in a mixing cup and then clean a paint gun and then put the PR-15 in the paint gun and use a small air compressor. Turn your air pressure down and you can paint up in your rockers, up in the places where you couldn't get um, with a brush and spray it up in there with a paint gun, a $15 paint gun, and then when you're done, just throw the paint gun in the trash and you're done with it. You're done. You're done. There's some new stuff. Well, it's not new, but I've never used it. It's called wool wax. And they have it in amber tint or they have it in black. And black has been tinted with graphite. I'm going to use wool wax on the 86 square body. I'm going to spray wool wax on it. And wool wax is different from using undercoating or bed liner or something like that because undercoat spray like you get in rattle cans is like a petroleum base and it doesn't snuff out the moisture. It just covers it up. So it still lets it get moisture. The wool wax, what I've read, the wool wax actually suffocates everything. And the wool wax is you have to, depending on if the vehicle's been washed a lot or whatever, you have to reapply it like every 5 years down here. So I'm going to try some wool wax. And I know that 3M has cavity wax that has the long nozzles on it where you can stick it up in your rockers. And when you spray, it does that 360-degree nozzle where it sprays cavity wax up into your rockers and your panels and stuff like that where you can't get to it. So you can do a lot of treating on it. acts like a barrel with a wax. Okay. And do some undercoating on that. Now, if I'm going to bed line something, if I'm going to use Line X or Raptor or Quartz or Sims undercoating, I will scratch it down to bare bones with like an 80 grit pad. Then I will 2K epoxy it. Then I will spray the bed liner. Then I will clear the bed liner, and that will protect it. That 70C10 that I did the wheel tubs on, he wanted to color match them. Um, so that's what I did. I sanded those down. I epoxied them. That protects them from rust. Then I bed lined them. They were color matched to the truck, and then I cleared them. On the 81K10 four-wheel drive, um, every bit of that was Linexed underneath the bed, inside the bed, everything that I could take off got Linexed, and then the bottom of the cab, because I didn't take the cab off the chassis, it was Raptor or line. It was Raptored all up underneath that, and then painted the whole chassis with Rust-Oleum enamel and put 10% synthetic hardener in that and then sprayed everything. But everything was media blasted. The chassis, underneath the cab, all that stuff was media blasted with glass to get everything down to bare bones. So then it was epoxied, then it was bed lined, and then it was cleared to protect it. So it's a little, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but you know, you gotta do it. Um, so, but anyways, anybody got any more questions? Anything? Anything else? Got a question? Ask me. If I know the answer, I'll try to help you out. There was a guy sent me a message on Facebook through my shop page through Messenger, or through my shops page, and he's spraying CRE 321, and he's redoing his 2005 or 2007 GMC truck, and it started rusting on the top. The paint started delaminating, stuff like that. And I said, man, you just might as well strip all that down to bare bones and start over. And that's what he did. And then I sent him some YouTube videos. Actually, he found me on YouTube because he was looking up how to spray CRE 321. I sent him some messages, and then um, he said that I said, man, that stuff's thick. That stuff's thick. You got to have something to spray it. And he said, okay. So he didn't have nothing to spray it with a big tip, because I spray it with a 2.0 or a 2.2. And so he went to Harbor Freight and he bought one of their cheap guns, and he got, so 2.0 tip. He found the size of that, uh, and found a drill bit, and then drilled out the nozzle on the paint gun so it would be a larger tip. And then he watched a video of us spraying that fender and a bunch of other video. And he sent me a message today that he has sprayed his whole cab. And he's like, man, it laid out great, man. I appreciate the help and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, man, I'm glad it worked out for you. Okay, let's see. Have you seen a white frame? Have I seen a white frame with PR15 with a top coat? So they painted the chassis with the POR 15 top coat system where it was colored. Is that what you're asking me? Is that the question? I know POR has different stuff. Now, POR 15 does not have UV protection in it. So I know 87 was doing, yes, they have colored. Yes, they have colors. Yes, they do. That's a top coat system. What's up, Ray? They have a top coat system. So like 87 SS the other day, he was doing his chassis on his shorty, right? And he was talking about this, that, whatever. So PR15, just POR15, the black PR15 has no UV protection in it. So what that means is Over time, the sun will break it down, and you can rub it, and in your hand will be transferred the black chalkiness on your hand. So it says it on the can. It has no UV, has no sunlight or UV protection. I don't know the exact wording, but it has no UV protection. So if it's going to be exposed to the sunlight, you need to top coat it with their top coat system. That's what that means, because there's no UV protection in it at all, and it will just chalk out. So that's what they have, that top coat system. That, well, happy birthday, both of you. Ray, why you going to bed at 8 o'clock? You didn't get up till 11:30. I mean, you ain't been up but 7 hours. I mean, why you going to bed? Why you going to bed, Ray? Because I seen your video where you were cutting up that deer tenderloin. You was cutting that sinew off of it, and you said, "Hey guys, I'm cutting this sinew off of this deer meat, and I slept in today because I needed my beauty sleep, and it's like 11 o'clock, and I'm doing this, and here it is. Here it is, 8 o'clock, and you going to bed." Damn, Ray, you ain't but 40 years old. You act like you 90. What's wrong with you, man? Lord have mercy. All right, so Ray, Ray number two, Ray, it's your birthday today. It's me and my son's birthday today. Hey Ray, birthday Ray. Do you mind telling me what your son's name is? If you don't want to put his name on here, you don't have to. You can just make up a name. But if you feel comfortable putting his name in the thing, I got something for y'all. Because I'm gonna get so I'm gonna tell y'all something. Every year, one of my buddies at work, he's a game warden. So it's Ray too. Okay. All right. So hold tight, everybody. I got something for Ray and Ray. So so every year on my birthday, every year on my birthday, my buddy from the game warden, he calls me on my birthday, right? And he makes sure he calls me when he knows I ain't gonna answer the phone. And now we have, I think I don't answer. When he calls me on my birthday, I don't answer. And the reason why I don't answer is because he sings me happy birthday. So him and his wife were on a cruise down Cancun, Bahamas, Jamaica. They were on a cruise. So my birthday was this month, right? So just a few days ago. So my birthday was, and he calls me and he wished me a happy birthday, and he sings to me. And when he sings to me, he sounds like you strangled a cat. And he just let me get my singing voice on. He sounds like Ernest T. Bass on Andy Griffith. So I told you that to tell you this. Ray, I'm gonna sing you and your boy happy birthday. So I got to get my me voice going. So all right, y'all ready? You don't know nothing about no grape Kool-Aid. So it's Ray's birthday, right? Ray and his sons. All right. Me. All right, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ray. Happy birthday to you. And you. That's what my buddy sounds like every time he calls me on the phone. So I can give you that one, or I can give you the other one. So I can give you a good one if you want me to. I can get my church choir voice out if you want me to. So, but yeah, happy birthday, Ray. I know, right? I mean, yeah, Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston ain't got nothing on me. Yeah, where Bobby Brown at when I need him? Bobby! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yep. 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 Yeah. So my buddy, I call him Little Leprechaun because he ain't but about 3 foot tall, flat footed. And he calls me and his wife when he got home from his cruise. I talked to him on the phone, and she says he had to call you. She says we were on a cruise in Mexico, and he was out there on the balcony, and he was singing to you, and everybody was looking at him like he was crazy. So I really appreciate him stopping on his me time with his wife to sing me happy birthday. So I got a daggone. So, but anywho's all right, boys and girls. Y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about? I'm hungry. So grandma, my boy's grandma, she cooked me some chicken and dumplings the other day, and I think she cooked me like 14 quarts. It's like a pot like this big. I've been eating chicken and dumplings for the last week and a half. I love chicken and dumplings. Just put it in the pot, put it in the bowl, put it in the microwave, warm it up, stir it up, and then do it again. I've been eating chicken. I bet I've eat four bowls of chicken and dumplings a day. So I think I'm gonna go in here and make me some pizzas. So, but yeah. Hey, Toolie, was you driving your car today? Well, when you was out there doing a little wheel spin, or was that is that current or is that an old vehicle? Same here. Oh yeah, man. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie, chicken casserole, green bean casserole, hash brown casserole. Man, you better shut your mouth. Yeah, old. Hey, are you? I know you're going to change the rims on that thing. Or are you going to leave it like that? What? Or are you just trying to decide on what kind of wheels and tires you're going to put on it? What you got on? What you got on your mind on that? Because I know you're going to do something. Yeah. See, that's like me and Mr. Turkey. Hey, man, I'm telling you, look, turkey wings, turkey legs, chicken pot pie. Um, let's see. Uh, Anybody know what SOS is? Anybody know what that is? Back to work, guys. Hey, hey, Mexican Lee Therapy Garage. I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you sharing your story, and hope you stop back by when you can. I appreciate you. If you ain't hit that subscribe button, I appreciate it. Hit. You sound like a bubble. You sound like bubble gum. I like French fried potatoes. I like potatoes. I like hash browns. I like chicken. Yeah, yeah. So bread, man. I like corn. Does anybody know what SOS is? Anybody know what that is? Anybody know what SOS is? Not like I need help, but anybody know what SOS is? Who knows what that is? My man Woody Wood. He's in with the winner chicken dinner. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, Tuli. SOS is actually chipped beef and gravy, is what it is. So if you go to like a grocery store like Piggly Wiggly, I don't know, y'all might have a Piggly Wiggly down there, or the Red and White grocery store, or Piggly Wiggly, or Kroger, or Food Line, or Food King, or something like that over in the canned meat aisle where you got spam and all that stuff. There will be a little jar that's vacuum packed, and it says chipped beef, and it's actually shaved beef that's in there. Right now, you can make your own, or you can go over in the frozen section. And they used to Banquet used to have it where it would be in these little frozen packets, and it'd have the gravy and the chipped beef in it already. And then you just put a pot of water on the stove, throw that little bag in there, warm it up like 10, 15 minutes, cut the bag open, take your two pieces of bread. You could leave the bread raw, or you could put it in the toaster and toast it. Lay it in the plate, cut the bag open, squeeze everything out on it, and then eat it. So, but in the Navy, we, I mean, I eat it before I got there, but when I got there and they come out there and you got the biscuits and you break them apart, or the bread or the yeast rolls, you break them apart and they would dump it in the plate. And I'm like, oh yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, shipmate. Can I have second, shipmate? You know, like dumping it on there. And then the people that were like, what's the word I'm looking for? The people that joined the military, the Navy, that was more fortunate growing up in life, that they didn't see what the bare bones of regular people eat, would look at the plate like they in prison, like, what is this, gruel? And sat down at the table, and you didn't have but like 3 or 4 minutes to eat. And they sitting here looking at it. Man, I ain't sitting there eating. I ain't sitting there looking. Jay's sitting there doing this. Hand them out, boy. I'm chewing. I'm chewing. I'm chewing. I'm eating. All right. And then next thing you know, they go, chow line, you know, and everybody's looking like, what? And they're like, I ain't even eat yet. Too bad, too bad. Throw that shit in the trash. We got to go. So less looking, more eating. You know what I mean? So that in the mornings we would go in there and they'd give you waffles and packs of peanut butter. So they'd hand the peanut butter and I stick the peanut butter in my pocket. Like right there. You get back to the table, you got like 15 daggone waffles and you eating pancakes and waffles. Like chickens and what? Like chicken and waffles? We eating pancakes and we eating waffles and peanut butter. And the people that was gifted, like more special in life, you know, they didn't eat that kind of stuff. They asses was losing weight. And then after about, you know, after 2 weeks, when that belly starts growling, they like, no, dog, I'm fixing to eat. Yeah, pork chops are chunky. Yeah, 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 garage. Yeah. Yeah. The Marines were like that. Yeah, look, you better look. We ain't got time to be looking at no food. We got to eat, you know. And then they give you like 2 minutes to pump and dump. You got 80 people in the bathroom in the stall, and you're sitting there. And this is the crazy thing, because I don't care. It don't bother me. So you're sitting there in the bathroom. You got the pumpers on one side, and you got the dumpers on the other side, and you got two people that's controlling the line, right? So if you got a pump, you better pump over here. If you got a pump and dump, you sitting down like this right here, and you got a man sitting beside you, and you got a man sitting on this side, and you sitting here doing your thing, and you got like 2 minutes. They give you like 2 minutes, and then they like, wrote, you know, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You know, and then they say, hey, big dog, you know, how about a courtesy flush? You know, I mean, this. And if you was nervous and had anxiety, there was this dude named Capolo. He didn't shit for like 2 weeks. He had to go to the medical because he was backed up like the daggone. He was backed up because he wouldn't use the bathroom. And then what happened was he got up in the middle of the night and snuck into the bathroom, right during watch. He got up and went to the bathroom, and he's in there in the bathroom, and he's sitting down. He uses the bathroom. He don't flush the toilet, right? He don't flush the toilet. So he gets up after he gets through doing his business. He goes and climbs back in the rack. Well, the person that was on fire watch that night let him go by and didn't do nothing. So when it was time, you know, the drill sergeants and stuff come in that morning, you know, they do a walkthrough in the morning. They go in there in the bathroom, and there's these daggone Lincoln logs in the daggone toilet. Somebody come in here and pumped and dumped and didn't hit the flush. So nobody would say what was going on. Then they beat us with PT, you know, and they come to find out Coppola said it was him. His belly was hurting. He ain't used the bathroom like 7 or 8 days, and he goes in there and he in there takes that. So what they do, Petty Officer Basso, he was from the Bahamas. And he was cool at when we got out. When I got out of basic, we hung out, and he was a cool dude, man. I mean, he was cool, but he was a damn ball breaker doing that thing. But that's what they're supposed to do, man. That's their job. So don't hold it against them personally. You know what I mean? So he found out Coppola was the one that slipped up and went in the bathroom and used the bathroom and never flushed the toilet. He put that son of a gun on toilet duty until the end of our basic training. That son of a gun had to stand next to the toilet. He stood. He stood at the side of the toilet while another man come in there and use the bathroom, and Coppola was standing beside the toilet, right? He was standing here on watch with his finger on the trigger. And when the man got done, and he'd get done, and you would have to look at Cabal and say, I'm done, shipmate, send it. And he goes, torpedo, torpedo, send it. And he'd hit the flusher button. He'd done that for the rest of our time and basic training. That son gun was on toilet torpedo duty for the whole time. You want to talk about a man that probably hates a freaking toilet to this day is him, because he was sitting there and he'd have to sing that song, torpedo, torpedo, send it. And hit the button every time. Laugh my ass. Look, I wanted to sit down. I wanted to be one there. I'm ready. Send it. Torpedo. Yeah, dude, I got a whole sack full of stories. And then there was this white guy, and I'm calling him white because he was white as cotton. And I'll never forget it. He was like 6'6", flat footed. That son gun was corn fed. He was white as cotton. He had the farmer's tan. He was from out west, Midwest. We go in there, and he was on the rack beside us. And then when we went in there to take showers, we go in there to take showers, and he is up against the wall. Look, this is no lie. He up against the wall like this, taking a shower. He's up there like this right here, up against the wall. Let me taking a shower. Right, he is up against the wall. And Basso, Pedro Sabasso is walking down in between. He's walking down in between everybody taking a shower. So they do 2 minutes. 2 minutes you get water, 2 minutes you get lathered up, 2 minutes you get to wash off, and then to rotate, right? So Pedro Sabasso is walking down in between like this right here, And I'm not gonna call this guy's name because he might find this video one day. He is up against the wall. I mean, he is just like this. And I mean, he's like 6'6", flat footed, long, lanky son gun. He's like this, leaned up against the wall, washing, right? Washing. Pedro Sabasso walks up behind him, and he's sitting there looking at him, and he calls him by name, and he goes like this right here, just. He said, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing, sir." He's like, What do you mean nothing?" He's like, "What are you doing up against that wall?" And he goes, "Nothing." He said, "You better not be choking that chicken." And he's like, "What?" He said, "You not better be stroking that thing." He's like, What are you talking about?" He said, "Turn around." And he's like, "What?" He said, "Turn around." And he's like, "What?" He said, "I said turn around, damn it." And he turns around and he's standing there like this, and that son of a gun is shaking. Like if you slap two rocks together, that son of a gun would climb that wall like a cat. He's standing there shaking. And you got a damn baby leg hanging down there. And he's like, "What?" He goes, "Boy, look at the size of you." He's like, "What?" He said, "Where the hell are you from?" He's like, "I'm from Kansas." He said, "Kansas? You should be on the damn TV station." He said, "You better not be choking that thing. I'm going to kick your ass." He's like, "No, sir." And he turned around and walked off. And he left him standing there. And everybody's like, "What the hell?" And everybody's like, and we are dying in there. And he was standing there. He was so scared to death. He had never been around anybody his whole entire life. And then we ended up got put on the same team leader. And he's like, "Man, I don't know what to do." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "I ain't never seen people." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Man," he had never seen nobody other. Now, when you talk about somebody that has never seen anybody other than white his whole entire life, and he's got this little Jamaican man standing like this far up in him, chewing him out because he don't know what's going on. He had no. He's like, I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Man, I've never seen people like this." And I'm like, "People like what? What the hell are you talking about?" He's like, "Man, I ain't never seen them but white people." And I was like, "Where the hell are you from?" He said, I'm from out west, out in Kansas or something. And I said, what? I said, oh, that's right. Y'all ain't got nothing but cornfields out there or something. He's like, man, I ain't seen nothing. I said, so he's like, man, I ain't seen people like this except on TV. And I'm like, dude, where in the hell you've lived your whole life? It's damn 1996, man. Man, they playing Tupac out here in the damn courtyard, man. What the hell's wrong with you? Yeah, yeah. Just and he ended up being a super cool dude after that. And then we got stationed together in California, and I took him to Mexico, and that was a shell shock right there. And that son gun, he was. we went to Tijuana when we was stationed in California. Took him down there to Senor Frogs, and we was getting dollar beers, and he got the drinking. And y'all know Foster's, right? Foster's beer, like Australian beer. You know, they're in them big ass stovepipe cans. They had Red Elephant, and I've never seen. I was like, "What the hell is that?" And it was made by Foster's. He got the drinking, and when he got the drinking, he just loosened. He's like, "Yeah, man, what?" And he said, "Let me show y'all something." So what? They was taking like Budweiser cans and Miller Lite cans and Tecate cans and shit like that, and he was crushing them on his forehead, right? He would take the can and say, "Watch this. One, two, three." The yeehaw come out of him, right? The yeehaw come out in him. He was one of them. The yeehaws was coming out. He was taking them cans. He was taking them damn Miller Lite cans and Bud Light cans, stuff like that. He was crushing them on his forehead. He's watch this. And he would crush them. I mean, crush them flat. And somebody says, "Hey man, do one of these," and handed him one of them red elephant cans. Handed him one of them red elephant cans. And he's like, "That's a pretty big can." I said, "Dude, that looks like a damn can of beans, man. You better leave that alone." He goes, "I believe I got it." And we had awards the next day. He took that can. He's like this right here. He said, "Let me get a side profile for you." He's like, like right here. He's like, "One, two, three, boom." And he stopped. And he's like, "Damn." He said, "Damn, that hurt." And I was like, "Man, you better leave that alone." He said, "I'm crushing this can." And I'll never forget it. Orlando Rubio, one of my buddies, he was from Bell Gardens, California. He said, "You can't do it, man. You can't do that can. That shit's hard." He said, "I'm crushing it." He went, bam, 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 like three more times. And that son of a bitch had a ring on his forehead. The next day when he woke up, when we got up the next day, he looked like somebody took a hot poker and put a circle on his forehead. And when we went to award ceremony, now you know we got our Navy cap on, right? Our little bitty cap on there. That son of a bitch looked like he had a smiley face underneath the bottom of his head. Lieutenant Tinch walked by. She walked by and she looks like this right here. She looks at him and she walks up to him and she looks up at him like that. And she says, she pointed up to him and he's just sitting there looking at her. She said, "Do I even want to know?" He goes, "No, ma'am." And she said, "Lord have mercy." And she just walks off. Yeah, that's something gonna like the broke hit. Look, and then after that, we went to we came to Camp Johnson down here at Camp Lejeune and done some training. And we got on a plane, and like 4 days after that son of a gun had a black and blue ring on his forehead, and then it turned yellow and purple like that right there. I said, "I bet your ass won't never grab hold of one of them red elephants again." Yeah, Foster's. That's it. Foster's. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Won't do that shit again. I promise you. I taught him a drinking game that I know called the Circle of Death. Yeah, them some guns they couldn't hang with Jay. Jay be putting them in the bushes, man. Painting them bushes. I grew up on Mad Dog 2020 and some old English OE40s and daggone Everclear when it was the real deal Lucille and straight moonshine. Them sun guns, man, they couldn't hang with old Jay. I'd have them sun guns puking their guts out. Foster's Australians for Bill. He's strong like ox. Yep, 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 yep. And then we was. How can I put this without getting in trouble? We was somewhere, and I was in high school, and man, yeah, Mad Dog 2020. man. Wild Irish Rose, uh, dude, that shit's like cat piss. I was like, no, I'll just stick to liquor. I'll just stick to moonshine. Y'all can keep that stuff. I ain't drink. I ain't getting up the next day and having. Ain't happening. So, senior week, yeah, senior week in high school. Was down at Myrtle Beach, and there's some guys that had there were some guys that were a fan of Cheek and Chong. I got to be careful with my words. There were some guys that was real good friends with Cheek and Chong, right? And they were all sitting around talking, whatever. And they were too scared to go to the shop down the end of the road to pick something up. And I said, "Hey man, Jay, you don't care. Will you walk in there and get the one?" I said, "What do you want?" And he said, "The one up front in the glass has got the Grim Reaper on." And I said, "Yeah, man, I walk in there and get it. I don't care." So I walked in there and got it. And the guy looked at me and says, "You know," I said, "Yeah, man, it's cool, whatever." But it come back. This thing had like 6 hoses on it, right? I don't. If you do, that's cool, and if you don't, that's cool too. It's not my thing, right? But if you do it, that's fine too. No harm, no foul. It is what it is. But they're sitting around the table. They sitting around the table, and this old boy, I never forget it. I never forget it. I never forget it. His name was Michael. I'll never forget it in my day of my life. He was from Augusta, Georgia. It's amazing what you can remember. His name was from Augusta, Georgia. His name was Michael. We met up on the strip cruising. I had my little mini truck. We all met up, whatever. And he come back to the room, and they was sitting there at the table and doing her little thing. He's like, "Hey man, that's pretty cool, man." He's like, "I ain't never messed with none of that stuff like that right there." He says, "You mind if man, I'd like to try that." And this other boy over there, he was a professional. He was a professional. He said, "Man, you probably don't want to mess with this." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, man, let me." He said, "Man, I promise you, man, you don't want to mess with this." He's like, "Well, it don't look that bad." He's like, "I'm telling you." So he joined into the little game that they had going on, right? And he had the man. I hope I don't get in trouble with this. Hope I don't get nothing. So I'm gonna try to keep it. So he was sitting there. He was trying to learn how to snorkel. Okay, y'all picking up what I'm laying down? He was trying to learn how to snorkel, and they said, "Hey man, when you go snorkeling, you got to put that thing in there, and you got to breathe in and breathe out, breathe normal, right?" He's like, "Okay, okay, okay." So they go snorkel, right? And the guy beside him says, "Hey man, to keep water from coming back in your snorkel, put your tongue in the end of it until you're ready, right?" And he says, "What?" He says, "You just let us know when you're going snorkeling, and we'll all go. We'll go together." He said, "Okay." So the other 5 dudes stuck their tongue in the end of their snorkels and told him to breathe normal when they were snorkeling. And he said, "Man, I ain't getting no air." He's like, "What?" He's like, "I ain't getting no air." He's like, "Man, you just just keep pulling until you can't pull no more. And when you can't pull no more, trying to get air through that snorkel, just raise your hand and everything will be good." He's like, "All right." So he's pulling on that snorkel. He's pulling. He's pulling, just trying to get air through that snorkel. He raises his hand up. When he does, the other 5 guys take their tongues out of their snorkel, and next thing you know, everything that's there goes to him. And I seen that shit come out his ears. He looked like Puff the Magic Dragon, the Disney movie from way back when. Pete the Magic Dragon. He had it out of his eyes, his ears, his nose. He was everywhere. Dude, I'd like to die. I'd like to die. He liked to die. And he was coughing. He's like, "I think I got water." I probably shouldn't have told that story. I hope I don't get in trouble with that story on there. I hope YouTube don't get me on that one. Yeah, be careful when you go snorkeling in Jamaica. You might drown. So, but anyway. Oh, me. What's up, Martinez? I didn't even see you in here before. Was you in before? You got water, all right. Yeah, he got water, all right. He got water. I'm from Japan. You you're in Japan right now, Martinez. Martinez, you're in Japan right now, like this very second. You in Japan? It's 8:30 here. That is crazy. I don't think I don't think I've ever had anybody that way. I've had them on, like the UK and Greenland, Australia, uh, Russia. What time is it in Japan right now? What time is it in Russia? I mean, what time is it in Japan? It's 8:30 here, p.m. on Saturday. It's got to be 10 in the morning. Is the sun still out? Is the sunshine still out? It's got to be because it's got to be the sun's still got to be out because it's 3 hour difference to California. So to be 7:30, 6:30, 5:30. So it's 5:30. It's 5:30 in California. 5:30 p.m. So it's 10 o'clock in the morning Saturday, right? Well, boys and girls, we've been on here 86 minutes. If y'all don't have any more questions or anything, I'm going to probably end this one. I appreciate every single one of you that's in here. I appreciate Martinez. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, if you have, I appreciate it. I think we're up to 2,000. Last time I checked, we was up to 2,520 is what we're at. What I don't understand, what's confusing to me is I look at the analytics and it says 18,000 people revisit my channel every day, right? Is what the YouTube analytics say. And I'm just trying to figure out why 18,000 people are coming back, but 18,000 people ain't hitting that subscribe button. I don't understand. If I go to a man, if I go to a man, if I go to a YouTube channel more than 3 times, I'm hitting that subscribe button. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. If um But if I go to somebody's YouTube channel more than 3 times to watch something on their channel, I'm hitting that subscribe button. I'm hitting that subscribe button. Hey, um, but hey, make sure everybody goes over and hit go to Tulu's TV and give him some subscribes and check out his channel. I didn't see 84 Cuddy on here tonight. Go over and check his channel out. Go to Big Fish and check out his channel. I know those are 3 channels that are actually doing content like car content. If you're doing car content or building something or whatever, um, let me know and I'll check. Yeah, yeah, Ray. You're right. Go check him out. Um, them boys has got G bodies and they're doing LS swaps. And I will tell you this, Tulu TV and 84 Cuddy, they are doing LS swaps for the first time. Like, so my guys are sitting around here, Tulu TV and 84 Cuddy, they're sitting around and go, hey, some people, put like stereo systems in their car or put exhaust on their car or change some stuff on their car, get just do a little bit tidbit stuff, right? No, not these guys. These guys say, hell no, we're going to go big or go home. They doing straight LS swaps straight out the gate. We're just going to rip the Band-Aid off and get up after it. Yeah. So He's done a lot of digital stuff, done a lot of digital controllers. He's done a lot of digital dash stuff. Um, he's got it painted. He's got the interior done. He's working on the engine stuff. He's working on his lights. He's got some other stuff going on. I asked him earlier about the wheels and tires, but I might have missed that answer. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So, but yeah, him and 84 Cuddy. 84 Cuddy's not on here, but all you got to do is go 84 underscore Cuddy, Cutty. Check him out. And I know you've, Ray, I know you've checked out Big Fish. I know you went to Big Fish's page, but check those guys out, man, because they drop content every day or about every other day in their shorts. And also, Tulu TV is actually putting out tidbit helps like how to go live. He helped me out on my DG camera. I was at a roadblock and he put a video up, and I was like, "Son of a gun!" That's why I can't get it. What my I'm thinking what route I want to take. Hey, look, I'm the same way. TV. I mean, as soon as it warms up, I mean, I'm going to be doing garden work, man. I'm going to be in here canning groceries. Okay, what's your question? I'll be in here canning groceries. I'll be canning green beans, canning. We'll be doing cooking sessions in here on the table. Um, so the way I look at it, TV is whatever it works, like just daily stuff in the shop, just daily stuff. I mean, yeah, every day I don't have car content every day. I mean, we had some stuff. That's why we fixed the fender. We talked about, I mean, think about it. Ray Outdoor brought up damn ice cream one day, and he told us that he has cream corn ice cream up there in Delaware. I love ice cream, but damn cream corn, I'm gonna have to try some of that. uh, and then Big Fish said, we were talking about food one day, and he's like, "Have you ever had chitlins?" And I said, "That's one thing I've never had." I'm not saying that I wouldn't try it. He said, "You eat my chit." He said, "You try my chitlins, and you won't never eat nobody else's ever again." And I'm like, "Okay." I said, "I've never eaten chitlins before. That's one thing I hadn't eaten." And he said, "Well, I'm gonna have to fix that problem." So, all right, Martinez, what's your question? Uh, what's your question? I said a while ago, what's your question? So you right, TV, everything's content. It's like I'll come in here, I'll come in here when it's canning season, and I'll have this whole table set up, and we'll be doing no, we don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. We'll be canning green beans, we'll be making spaghetti sauce, we'll be making pasta sauce, we'll be making tomato stuff or soups and stuff. So so yeah. So content's content. Right. Hey Ray, I'll try anything once, man. I'll try anything. Uh I'll try anything once. So but I appreciate every single one of you. We're down to 3 people on here, so I guess everybody's already bailed. That's cool. I appreciate every single one of you that's on here. I'm gonna try to have some other stuff going on. Make sure you support those that support you, and also remember what I tell you. Learn today, earn tomorrow, give back, give back. There's 3 steps. Learn today so you can earn tomorrow so you can give back the next day. And also remember, um, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first at loose end drive. Peace, love, and chicken grease. I'm out. I appreciate you.